eyeballs on us.
If Coach Izzo didn't come up and you and I talking, I see you guys are building a real strong relationship.
How many of us are dedicated from now to that championship?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking live at Spartan Dogs for Life. I am your co-host, Brian Musalam, along with my co-host, Justin Thin. Justin, how you doing today, buddy?
Great day to do this show, Brian. Some special topics to discuss.
Great day to do the show. We are excited to be here today, and we got a lot on tap. We're excited to be joined by one of our biggest Spartan supporters here, somebody that Spartan Nation owes a debt of gratitude to, that highly revered, that puts the nation first before himself. Steve St. Andre has decided to join the show. Steve, how you doing, Steve?
Hey guys, how are you? I feel like I'm going to be the after having Saban, you've had K9, you've had Mel, you've had Izzo, the worst guest in the history of the SD4L show now. But I appreciate being here, and I'm excited to talk about what we've put together.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you're worth more than all of them combined. That's really what it boils down to. So, we're just gonna dive right into this because I know you got a tight schedule there. I know you're busy. Tell us a little bit about how did all this come together? Spartan Nation is very interested. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So the SD4L brand, I'm not certain if people know about that. This is something that was actually created within the MSU football program. So a guy named Jay Green, and I think Jay Green is just a legendary Spartan, the kind of guy that everyone should meet. Jay Green grew up in Flint. Jay Green was an unbelievable football player, had a pretty serious knee injury, ends up having a career at Michigan State, but certainly not to the level that he wanted based on that injury. If you got, of course, Brian, from what the guys dealt with back then when it came to knee injuries. And Jay stayed with the program. He's been a friend of, you name it. Any generation of MSU football player loves Jay Green. And Jay Green and the football I think defense and the folks that invented it came up with this brand that is known as SD4L. It's Spartan Dogs for Life. And that brand has lived on for years and years to just be something that the ex-football players would have gear, and it would be kind of this, I would say, network or collection of members of old football players. And myself, Brian, you actually might have been there. It was myself, Jason Strayhorn, who's like a brother to you and I, were up at football practice one day. And Jay happened to be there. We were talking to Mel. We were talking to some of the current players. And we saw this brand, and it kind of dawned on myself. I think Jay kind of saw the idea that kids these days, I got 4 kids, all into streetwear, trying to buy the latest and greatest limited edition clothing, Nikes, you name it, that we could do something with this SD4L brand. It was just special. So over I want to say 2 or 3 meetings, Jay and I just hit it off, and we really figured out a game plan for what we could do with this brand. And we'll go into detail here about what we're thinking, but really it's Jay's legacy. I feel honored just to be part of it. Jay is going to continue to be part of it, but we've built what we think to be a really special roadmap that is still going to retain all of the things that it had done for the Spartan community. And you guys are very close to seeing what current Spartans, former Spartans, and how they think about SD4L, whether it's a player moving on to the NBA or moving on to the NFL. The SD4L brand is already building itself, and I think when you hear what we're planning on doing with it, we're going to take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Just the first time I talked to Jay Green was at a recruiting camp. Never met him before. Talked to him for an hour. He's a guy that just has time to talk to everybody. You can feel the love he has for Michigan State just by talking to him. So definitely want to echo the sentiments you said there about Jay. So I guess getting into the brand a little bit more, what can you tell the listeners about the vision on how this will be executed?
So again, we're trying to keep the integrity of what it was. There'll always be some part of SD4L that will be about the athletes and the former athletes to make sure we stay true to Jay's vision. And we've committed that. Jay, again, is going to be part of that. But the hope is to expand that brand to the entire Spartan community. And the way we're thinking about it in the short term is the streetwear. And I think you've seen a taste of that. Brian's got the sweatshirt on. I think you're seeing Mel on social media start to promote all of the ideas that we're about to launch on the community. So think about it as the best in streetwear, and we're going to do it similar to what you see with some of these exclusive brands, right? We're going to follow after the
Oh, you got stuck. I guess we got stuck. Let's see if we can get him back on, huh? We're going to follow the streetwear.
Hopefully the laptop didn't die or something.
I know. You know, we're my assumption was gonna be that he's gonna say we're gonna follow the Nike Under Armour model. That was my assumption. Let's see if we can get him back on here. But conceptually, I think to get Spartan Nation involved in something like this is something that we can all participate in. Mm-hmm. A brand we can all be proud of. A brand that we can all wear as a badge of honor. And you know, I think Jay Green is being the father of SD4L, the founder of SD4L. This is something that we can all participate in. We can all be part of. We can all join. We can all enjoy. And let's hope we get his internet back, because we want to hear his vision. He's a marketing wizard, genius wizard, and has a vision for this that I think that's unrivaled across the country. I mean, when you look at a clothing brand where they're looking for influencers, to hire influencers, and to be able to, you know, couple that with a show to promote the brand, I don't think there's anything like that in the country.
Yeah, the combination of your show and the brand having like actual tangible consumer goods, and at the same time, as you said last episode, very well funded privately as well. So that trifold combination is certainly very unique in the grand scheme of things, at least from what I've seen in the recruiting world.
So if you're able to imagine a scenario in which you're able to build a brand that's able to really build a machine in itself. You're able to build a brand where, you know, Spartan Nation embraces, and that everybody's participating, either through memberships, either through apparel, and are able to hire influencers within the university. It's really a very, very unique concept. Absolutely something that I think that we should all engage in, and something that we should all partake in. You're seeing Mel wearing the brand. We've sent some stuff off for K9. Coach Izzo hopefully is going to put the brand on soon. And this is really, really exciting times. It's one of the kind, if you ask me, across the country.
Yeah.
And any luck getting them back on? No?
But yeah, it's to have actual buy-in from the coaches and stuff like that, but like without any direct involvement, it sounds like. Just having like Mel, for example, always kind of vouching for the brand with his representation on social media, and as you're saying, Coach Izzo possibly kind of trending towards that direction as well. Seems like you guys have a unique kind of structure here with the brand.
Well, I think it's important for Spartan Nation to embrace this brand, because this thing is a machine that can be built to where one day I envision, you know, this brand self-perpetuating, self-building, building something that's very, very special, that involves all of us, that's able to hire influencers from all kinds of sports, right? Besides men's basketball, besides men's football, really involve every sport within the university. It's very, very unique. It's something I thought about. I've laid there and thought about, and I wondered. I just thought to myself, "Wow, this could be lightning in a bottle." I mean, if we can get all the influencers, Spartan Nations across the country wearing this SD4L brand, and getting them to buy in, is something that I believe will help the programs for the years to come. I also believe that this brand it can survive permanent structures. It could be something that that we as a university, forget the university, but in general, this brand can last, multiple changes that happen throughout the university, quite frankly. And it's something that I'm super excited about. I know that many Spartans are excited about. And we need to get Steve back on to talk about it. No luck, Owen? Huh? Have him dial back in. Yeah, it's
I guess in the meantime, do you want to sort of read Jay's kind of take on this?
I got him.
Okay.
Hold on, we're gonna get him back on.
Hey, my apologies, guys. Again, I'm in a hotel room in New York City, so I'm dealing with the best I can here.
I
No
mean,
worries.
Saint, you're killing us here. We're
I'm
trying
a
to
tech.
run,
I'm a tech guy. Yeah.
we're running a live show here. We got millions. I mean, millions of people waiting. They're hanging on every bit, every bated breath, every word of yours, and you're like disappearing. Come on, Saint. We need you.
I'm at the mercy of the hotel, guys. I apologize.
So you were talking about the vision and kind of the model you guys were looking to follow when we kind of lost you. So I guess you can pick up there. I think he froze again. Yeah, he's gotta give at least a 1-star review to that hotel. Oh, is he back?
There he
he's
is.
back. He's moving.
Saint, you're moving.
I got to keep refreshing. I keep freezing on the screen.
Yeah, so Steve, you were talking about the blueprint for the brand and kind of the model you guys were looking to follow here.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure exactly where I cut off, but again, the two most important parts for us are the influencers, the student athletes who are going to promote all the things that SD4L will represent, and then most importantly that this is an opportunity for all MSU sports. We have incredible programs, women's golf, women's gymnastics, what we do with across the entire trust mark of Spartan Sports. And we feel like this will be kind of the foremost promotional opportunity for all Spartan athletes. That's why we're most excited.
So let me ask you, this is kind of unique because there's nothing like this in the country. There's a clothing brand that was founded by Jay Green that we're now, as a show, that I felt as a former trustee athlete obligated to promote, because I saw the vision that you had of making sure that we find our influencers to wear this brand to help the growth of this brand and to help our university and those that our student athletes. And I'm curious. You have this mind that thinks on another level. It took me. I remember like texting you one night saying, "Wow, this is absolute brilliance." Tell me why SD4L. Like, what made you grab that brand and say, "This is what we're going to use to brand the Spartans, and we're going to get involved, and we're going to involve other people, and we're going to use this to really help to find influencers that help promote this brand that are within our university"?
I mean, I appreciate the compliment, but let me take very little credit. The brand was built, right? Jay had built the brand, and you could see it with the ex-players, the excitement around what SD4L represents. The only thing I did was recognize that I think everyone would like to be part of that. And then what I did is I connected some of the biggest and brightest minds that we have in the MSU community that are right in our backyard, right? We have the owner of the largest insurance company on the planet, right, in Greg Williams. We have both Justin and Matt Ishbia, right? Everyone knows Matt. Justin Ishbia is, in his own right, an investor and an unbelievably talented guy, as well as local guys, Ron Boji, others that are connected to this. So I would love to take the credit to say, hey, I had this vision. The only vision that I had was, I think this brand can be something special. And it's this collection of people that are going to make it something that is part of the MSU community. And again, for us is, we all have our day businesses. I think, it is easy for us to, think about the love we have for Michigan State and how do you give back to that. We think we can build something here that is every Spartan is going to want to be a part of, because what is so unique about it is you're going to love wearing the gear. It's going to be special. It's going to be, things that you don't have today. And the best part is we're going to make the investment in, as we sell that content, as we sell advertisers on all of the promotions, those dollars are going to be used to then promote the brand with the athletes. So it's a perfect kind of circular model in our minds where, again, all of our day businesses and what we've done, for ourselves, I think this is a chance to really allow some of the ideas that we have and, this network of talented people to give back to Michigan State in a way that the athletes will ultimately be the beneficiaries, and then ultimately the coaches and the athletic community.
So I just want to clear this up. Greg Williams, Matt Ishbia, Justin Ishbia, 3 of our largest donors, along with you, are participating in SD4L.
That is correct. Those guys are kind of the cornerstone. I think when any of us that have spent time with Matt, and again, as I mentioned, Justin, the ability to share ideas of what you make this and where it could go comes from this collaboration of minds. So I certainly would say that what Jay had built, I had an idea of what we could make it, but when you bring that level of talent, and I think it speaks to Michigan State. I mean, I guess I have a vision that our head of the MBA program or the entire business school, Sanjay, is dripping in SD4L gear and he's got the chain on, and we take this to a new level. Because when you understand, the amount of talent of just everyday people like myself, of what Michigan State did for us, how it influenced us in our business lives, I want people to be excited about all aspects, the athletics program, but also the business school. And I think, again, by building a brand, we're going to try to prove to the world that Michigan State is on a different level, and we can do things with our alumni base, our creativity. I think we hustle a little bit harder than everybody else out there. And in my mind, when this thing is wildly successful, the Spartan faithful are going to be, thrilled that we have it.
Yeah. So, Steve, just me kind of sitting here listening to you and kind of just piecing it all together in my mind and kind of thinking about how it might work. And you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me, as someone from the outside, that you guys all have these brilliant minds, as Brian was saying, that are all collectively collaborating here, all trying to see how this can work. And as you were saying, I believe, if I understood you correctly, you guys are all investing in this as it goes. And it seems like at the end of the day, this is something that all of you guys are yourselves propelling forward. Henceforth, if you look at it, at least how I view it, Brian, these guys are the ones that put in all these millions of dollars to keep Mel Tucker here. They're not doing anything where they themselves are trying to kind of secure any returns on here. Is it fair to say in that way that you guys are kind of not looking for any sort of return on this other than to give back to the university and just kind of making sure that all that money kind of goes to the influencers that would make the brand successwell? Is that a fair assessment?
I think I would say it this way, is that our success will be determined on, how well this brand becomes, part of that fabric of Michigan State. When the athletes and the folks that are in the NFL and the NBA and moving on to play, whether it's women's professional soccer or, spread out in different areas of the country, are promoting our brand. And when the student athletes are basically becoming these promotion machines that we know they can be for the SD4L brand, right? I mean, who doesn't follow our athletes on social media as they, have success on the fields, as they have success in the classroom. That is the vision, and our success will not be about does SD4L attempt to turn a profit.
Right.
I think as we look at our long-term plans, we are going to reinvest all of the dollars to build this brand. Now that's a very different philosophy than what you see other universities doing, but it is, I think, a combined belief of all of us that we can make something here that not only from a content perspective, but from the gear perspective. And again, these events, some of it is we're going to figure out as we go. Right. But wouldn't it be great if, when you come to campus, there is a, unique SD4L, maybe an after game party, or it's a tailgate, or different things that folks can participate in. And I think, selfishly, I get the opportunity to, connect with a Justin Ishbia or Greg Williams, as part of the experiences that I have. But to offer that to, people that are part of the brand, again, I think people are going to want to be part of that.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating that the focus is all the profits are going to be driven towards building the brand. Because I laugh, when I get comments from folks. I always talk about billionaires that they sell companies to make money, not T-shirts. So it's a very, very unique concept. It's really one of its kind across the country. Yeah. So just briefly, how can every Spartan participate? How far away are we from every Spartan participating?
Yeah, so I guess the funny part is, Mel wearing the gear and promoting it on social media, no one can stop Mel. He's kind of a freight train when it comes to...
Where's Izzo's gear? Do we got Izzo's gear coming?
Doing. Yeah, Izzo's got much bigger pipes, so we're trying to make a sleeveless cutoff for him. We want to show more of the muscle, so he said he wants something, more custom. But, what we did, guys, and let me just be transparent, is we built promotional gear just to get people excited about the brand. What we initially built was not meant to be for sale. Mel put it on, and the next thing you know, Mel is, a brand in his own right.
Yeah,
the gear is everywhere. And again, for me, learning, I'm not obviously in the merchandising business. Justin, I think you said it well. Like Matt Ishbia and Justin Ishbia have a lot more sophisticated investments than trying to build a T-shirt brand.
Exactly.
So again, this for us is about the passion of Michigan State, and again, our wins on this are not going to be based on, I can promise you, the profits of the business.
Of selling shirts. You mean to tell me? Hold on. You mean to tell me you're not trying to make money off selling shirts?
Yeah, it's actually, once we're said and done and everyone's a member and we have you selling gear, we're going to come back around and try to sell you all insurance to help ready. So, for us, you got to forgive us in a couple ways. Mel, and I think I'm learning as I go. Mel getting out in front of the brand and promoting it. What happened was, of course, there's all these, I think, opportunists on the internet that took the brand, tried to copy it, and all of a sudden our T-shirts, hoodies, all these things were for sale on the internet. So the first thing we'd ask all Spartan fans is, don't buy anything yet. Don't try to acquire the gear, because none of that benefits the student athletes, and it does not help promote the SD4L brand. So as we built the promotional gear, we are working in tandem to put gear for sale on the SD4L.net website. And the website is live today, but we are going to be putting up our gear in, I think, what is the right way to do it. Number one, there are going to be staples that are for sale at all times that anyone in the public, anyone in Spartan Nation can go purchase. Second, we're going to have a membership, and it's going to be, we haven't landed on the price yet, but it's going to be somewhere in the $5 or $6 a month membership fee that will get you access to exclusive, unique content that we'll be sending via app, that you can hear directly from Mel, you can hear directly from Tom, you can hear directly from Alan, you can hear kind of what's happening on the inside. And the idea, quite frankly, guys, came from you and what you guys are promoting on the show. So beyond that, that membership will allow you to get in line for all of the custom drops we're going to do. So the amazing thing of the Spartan community is we have people at EA Sports. We have people in Legends Clothing. We have people at Zubaz. We have all these unique brands. So think about it as you're going to have drops of clothing that you're going to see show up on K9 and hopefully Miles Bridges and showing up on Draymond. That they're going to get, of course, as part of the promotional. We're just going to send it to them. But that gear will be available for the members in kind of a limited edition. We're going to drop, a certain amount of things that make it interesting to be a Spartan member or SD4L member. And then the last piece on the events, I think these are for people that, want to tap into that network. And I think you're going to have, a lot of people that want to participate in different ways. So if you want to advertise on the SD4L platform, what you guys are doing, I think we see your viewership, we're watching it. It's growing week after week after week. But as you get our student athletes to promote it through the platform, as you get the coaches to promote it, I think the viewership, on what you guys are doing is going to be, 10 times, if not 20 times more every month that we continue to do this. So we're going to have the opportunity for Spartans that have the opportunity to advertise for the SD4L platform. And the same model exists. So as we take advertising dollars in, we're going to take those dollars and promote it right back to the individual student athletes across all of the sports. Just to make this platform kind of one of a kind.
As you take advertising dollars in, I want you to know, send us the logos, and we will scroll them on our podcast, on our show, because we want those folks that are advertising, we want their company showcased on the SD4L show, because we know where that bottom line, that dollar is going. What you guys are doing is absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. I just got one last question. Why .net? Can we get a .com? I mean, I got everybody blowing me up about the .com. What are we doing there?
All right, so here's what I would say is we have day jobs, and all of us literally are booked from 4 o'clock in the morning on our day jobs till about, in my case, 8 o'clock at night, and Matt's even worse. You know Matt. I mean, you can text that guy at 3 o'clock in the morning. Justin is no different, right? Guys are running at a pace. So when we went to procure that, I guess I want everyone to know this when we talk about, this business. This is literally like in our evenings or early mornings, or it's right. Like on weekends. We don't have staff for this. I think we were laughing, Matt and I and Justin, like we actually built a PowerPoint presentation ourselves. We were clicking away at the creative to kind of go present it to others. So we're ground up, much like we did when we started all of our own businesses. So the SD4L.net was available. Let's just say we do have the means between that group to purchase the SD4L.com domain.
I think so.
And we're in the works of acquiring it. So I guess before I leave you, I want to make sure for all Spartan Nation, first of all, thank you guys. I love what you do. I'm so happy and proud to be part of all of the Michigan State community, but particularly what you guys do. Please advise every Michigan State fan, all of Spartan Nation. Number one, please give love to Jay Green. This is Jay Green's concept. This is not about me. This is not about Matt or Justin or Ron Bogie. This is about Jay Green and what he's done, and all I'm doing is helping to make it a little bit better. Number two, do not buy any gear from these fake sites. Don't do it. Sit tight. All of our gear will be online soon. We're targeting, again, in our day jobs, we're targeting getting the gear up and running by probably mid-August, maybe slightly earlier. And we'll also have all of the memberships available that will explain how you can be a member. So it is a work in progress. We're doing the best we can. We have the university on board. We have what we believe to be this great think tank of minds. And if people have ideas of where to take it, we don't have pride in this thing. Come bring every idea. That's the beauty of being a Spartan, is we figure out ways to be successful. And the collection of what I've seen is humbling. The collection of how people have embraced this, the coaches. And when you see what we can do for the sports that are not expecting this, right? Whether that's softball or it's volleyball or name it. I think this thing is going to be special, guys. I really do. And I'm just excited to be part of it.
I'm going to leave you with this. And here's my personal goal. Because you and I met last, Wednesday or Thursday. And I'm like, man, we didn't realize this thing's gonna, like, it's gonna go off the ledge. What are we gonna do? And so I've been thinking about, like, my personal goal. My personal goal eventually is to have this thing be able to fund, to be able to, let me rephrase this, to be able to hire every influencer involved in Michigan State athletics to rep the brand. That's my personal goal. Maybe not yours, but my personal goal, and to help, like, all of Spartan Nation participate. And this is such a unique concept, one of a kind, and your vision, with the help of Matt and Justin and Greg Williams. And Greg Williams deserves a ton of praise. He's been, there.
Yeah.
He's unreal, and these guys like this, Ronnie Boji, just we can't thank you enough for all that. Thank you so much. We got to get. So right now, you see middle of August where Spartan Nation can acquire the gear?
We're doing our best. No thanks ever needed, right? We're all, we bleed the green and white, like, everyone in that group. So we'll do our best to get it out as soon as possible. You'll see it promoted on, you'll probably be the one that breaks it when the gear is live. But we'll do our best to keep promoting it. And when you start seeing it from the athletes, you'll know, we're ready for prime time and we're launching. So I'm going to do everything I can to get it up in the next, 30 days. But, we will be there. We will certainly be there before the season starts. And you're going to have the best gear, the best events. And hopefully, Brian, you said it well. This thing is going to self-sustain, and whoever is in this chair running it, I don't think it'll be me, because it'll be someone that knows what they're doing and merchandising and building a brand. But I'm very excited to kick it off and just do my part and moving on to the next level.
One last question, I'll let you go. On Friday, we broke the news that SD4L was in discussions with several MSU basketball and football players. In discussions, that's all we said. Can you confirm that?
I would say we're starting the process of reaching out to student athletes. I think you might be surprised that it will not be a football or a basketball player that gets signed to SD4L first. I think we want to make a statement that this is not exclusive to the male sports or the revenue sports.
I agree.
I think if you see what we're doing, right, the excitement around, I got to keep going back to it, golf and gymnastics, in our women's sports. I think it'll set the brand up for people to really understand what we're doing here. And I think it'll be good for the student athletes. I think it'll be something that builds excitement. And again, we'll take feedback as it goes, but we will, I think, will be a really good thing for the Spartan athletic community.
Good. Well, Steve, thank you very much for joining us. We
really
appreciate you.
The insight.
Awesome, Brian. Thank you, brothers. Okay.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate all that you do for Spartan Nation. You're one of the greats. So thank you very much. Good night and go green.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys. Go white.
Thank you. Steve St. Andre joining us, who obviously is one of the brainchild and one of the great Spartans, and just the humility, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just he's so humble. I want to read a statement, though, from Jay Green. Yep. Jay Green was not able to join us tonight. I think it's important that we're able to read Jay Green's statement tonight because he had his mother's birthday. It was the last second. And can you throw that up, Owen, real quick? So this is from Jay Green. This is the founder of SD4L. So, and I'll read this for you if you can't read that. The brand SD4L was something that I started as an extension of us Spartan dogs. It was originally something that was exclusive to former athletes and support staff, but now it will be available to Spartans everywhere. I want to sincerely thank Jason Strayhorn for facilitating this deal and introducing me to Steve St. Andre. I also want to thank Steve for seeing and believing in my vision. He has the resources to take this brand to the next level, and I look forward to being a consultant / brand ambassador and promoting this brand to be the brand for Spartans everywhere. Go Green, hashtag SD4L. Jay Green, founder of the brand. What a great time to be a Spartan, huh? Great time.
Yeah.
Absolute great time. Shifting gears, Max Christie heading to the NFL. NBA, close enough. NBA draft, second round. Let's show those. Magic had it weighed in on there. Skip Bayless weighed in on there. Congratulations to Max Christie.
Yep.
Comments from Magic, comments from Skip Bayless. Enters a pretty good situation, doesn't he, Justin?
Yeah, it's a place where he doesn't himself have to carry the load right away. You got LeBron, you got, as Skip calls him, Westbrook over there. So, yeah, I think not a lot of pressure on him right now, but it's a high-pressure area, so good luck to him.
Good luck to him. Also, Marcus Bingman. Marcus, congratulations to Marcus heading to Dallas. Very excited for you. Looking forward, looking for the best. Gabe Brown. Gabe.
Yep. OKC.
OKC. Gabe. Spartan athletes. Spartan dogs. Getting a shot in the league. Good luck to those three gentlemen.
Yep.
We're extremely excited for you guys, and we wish you all the best. MSU announces its athletic winners for the 2021 or 22 season, 21 season, 22 season.
Yeah, both. Yep.
Yes.
Names are on the screen.
Names are on the screen right there.
Congratulations to those that won.
Absolutely. Kenneth Walker for football. George Alderon Trophy. George Alderon female athlete was Jenna Magnus. Women's cross country, Chester Brewer Leadership Award with Jack Winkler, men's tennis. The Dr. James Fewig Achievement and Service Award with Jack Winkler, men's tennis. Big Ten Conference Medal of Honor. The male was Morgan Beadlescomb, men's cross country and track and field. The female was Leah Mitchell. Done a great job. Gymnastics. And the Big Ten Outstanding Sportsmanship Award was to Faraya Matutu, men's soccer, and Mary Lewis, women's tennis. Congratulations. Now, joining us, Corey Robinson joins us to discuss MSU recruiting in this wild month. Corey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Just kind of catching up on some sleep after a wild June, but yeah, it's a good, successful month for the team. I think got a lot of fireworks that could be going off one way or the other. So I know Justin and I have been like hitting the pavement hard, trying to cross-check everything. So I think we got some excitement coming up soon.
We got a lot of excitement. We had goats, Ferraris, pancakes,
dogs.
A peeing goat too. Almost peed on the recruit.
Yeah. The goat peed on Crocker, right?
He came close. He said he just missed.
I mean, just have we ever seen anything like this as it relates to MSU recruiting?
No, I've never seen anything like it. Just the sheer numbers, where everybody's coming from. I mean, it's across the entire country. And even Crocker, I mean, he was originally from, I believe, England before he moved to Tennessee. And so, yeah, you've never seen anything like this, and you've never seen the show that they put on. And it's more than the show. Like, obviously, they put the pictures out of the cars and all of that. But at the end of the day, all of these prospects are talking about the relationship and the family atmosphere. So all of that stuff is still winning over. They're just kind of having some fun with it in between.
So in terms of kind of looking at a big picture of what this weekend or what this month was all about, some total stats here are they had 38 total visitors that ended up making it up here this month. 30 of them were 4 or 5 stars according to the 24/7 Sports Composite. 17 different states were represented.
Wow.
And 4 commits resulted. And that's better than we could have guessed if somebody were to give us an over-under. I think I said they would get 2 or 3 commits this month. They technically got 5, 4 have stuck. And King Mac, who we'll see what he does tomorrow, could raise the number up to 6 pledges, 5 that will have remained at that point. So, yeah, Brian, I guess
here's my, 17 states represented to me tells you that MSU is becoming a national brand. I've never seen 17 states represented. Corey, have you?
No, I've never seen it here. It's just not really a thing that they did with D'Antonio. He stuck to the Midwest, but
the 300-mile radius.
With Tucker, it's he's got a bigger national brand vision for the program, and after winning 11 games this year, people are noticing. So now you're not knocking on when you knock on the door, the kids are answering now, and they're coming up here and they're giving you a shot. And I mean, you look at a guy like Stanton Ramel, 6'7", 310 pound. He might even be 315. The guy's massive in his photos he took. He came up here in Michigan State. I mean, I don't even think, like, they were obviously on the radar. He wouldn't have came up here, but he didn't. He had a better visit than he ever expected, and now Michigan State finds themselves right in the thick of it for a dude from Alabama with offers from everywhere across the country. So just the power of the program, and how they say just keep chopping. When it looks like they might not get a guy, I can imagine Tucker and Saeed and a few of the other guys are getting on the coaches, say nope, just keep hitting them, and eventually it paid off. So I think Stanton Ramel, he's one that I know Justin liked a lot too. So,
so who are like the most important targets that and now heading into post-June?
Yeah. So I guess the first name that a lot of people think about is Elliot Washington, who had a pretty iconic picture there, him and the GOAT. And he's the Alabama commit right now that also took OVs to Penn State and Michigan State. Corey, I think you know his circle pretty well, and I think you're optimistic about Michigan State's chances there, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely still feel optimistic there with him. A lot of deep roots there. Brian may remember some of the names that he's connected to. Nehemiah Warwick. That's his uncle.
I didn't know that, really.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then he's kind of had youth coaches of Marcus Waters and Sir Darian Adams, who are and down in Florida, the youth coaches, they stick with those kids from the time they're little till the time, I mean, even beyond college. So those guys have had a good influence on him. But yeah, he's got ties to Michigan State.
Charles Brantley, former high school teammate.
Jaron Glover, two Spartans now that he's good friends with. Teammates with Brantley in high school. So I mean, he's got the ties, and he's definitely feeling what Michigan State, their vision is, and he can see it coming in to fruition, because all he's got to do is talk to his buddy Chuck Brantley and say, hey, is this how it is? And I know I've spoken with Chuck, and he said, yeah, this is how it is. It's because I always ask the guys too when they get here, is it the same as what they recruited you as? And they all say, yeah, that's exactly what they told me.
Chuck started as a freshman here, and I think Elliot has the opportunity.
46 pounds.
Elliot has the opportunity to kind of do the same if he chooses to come to Michigan State. So he's an impact player. There's no other reason Nick Saban would be targeting him as a defensive back. And Mel Tucker knows defensive backs too, and I think he'd get some great hands-on development there if he chooses Michigan State. But another very important player, Chase Basantis. I think it's possible he might commit sometime in July. He's a guy that has the ability to come in and play offensive tackle at Michigan State pretty early. Over there from New Jersey, I know Rutgers is involved. Several other schools, some big schools down south are involved. Corey, is there anything about Chase Basantis that the people need to know in terms of his scouting report, in terms of what he can bring to Michigan State if he chooses?
Tough kid. I mean, he's already putting up numbers in high school that college offensive linemen are putting. And so, I mean, he's just a strong dude. He's got good feet. I mean, he's one of the few guys as an offensive lineman that you could almost pencil in, if not pen in, that he's going to play as a true freshman on the offensive line, because I mean, he just physically, he's there. He plays at Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey, Ramsey, New Jersey, so he's got the coaching, so his technique's a lot further along than everyone else's. So yeah, I think he's probably the most college ready offensive lineman that they have on their board.
That was my next question. Can he play?
Yeah, I think he's one of the few guys that I say has a shot at playing early, and that's not easy as you know. You played offensive line.
I was gonna say,
that's the toughest spot.
Yeah. Play early, that's the toughest spot. So if you're saying that, and that's
he's a top 75 talent.
Oh yeah, that right there tells you that he's somebody.
I think they got him as number 6 offensive tackle in the country in the composite rankings, and I mean,
sounds about right.
He may be even better than that, honestly.
So then we have another guy who just oozes potential, in my opinion. I know I was talking to Jack Ebling about him earlier today. He's watched football for years. He said that's one of the quickest twitch pass rushers he's seen in years. By Job from Oklahoma came up here with his trainer Sean Cooper of C4 Sports. Those guys had a great time at Michigan State from what it seems like by all accounts. Released a top 3 that consisted of Alabama, Oklahoma, Michigan State. Seems like a decision could come in the next couple of weeks. What kind of a player is By Job, Corey?
A freak athlete, and I guess what I'll say is, like, obviously he's great. You know, he's number 64 in the country. I think he's the number 9 edge on the 24/7 composite. But for me, what separates it is, like, he's the perfect player for Brandon Jordan, because he's got all these freak athleticism and the long arms, all that stuff that you can't teach. He's a raw football player, and that's where it's perfect for him to come in and have a guy like Brandon Jordan who literally breaks every step a defensive lineman or pass rusher takes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's almost like a perfect fit for the prospect, because I mean, I've been on record publicly a lot of times saying that he has the natural ability and athletic ability to be the best pass rusher in the 2023 class, and you put him with a Brandon Jordan, a Marco Coleman, Kevin Vickerson. Those are guys that are going to get it out of him.
Yeah.
But I think for him, he's the guy that he's in the 60s now in the composite, and he's got a chance to make an even bigger rise before his senior year.
In his highlights, he returned a kickoff for a touchdown as a defensive end. As a defensive end, he returned a kickoff for a touchdown.
I guess, penny wise, pound foolish, right? I mean, you take the NIL money up front now, but you plan for the future. And
NFL contracts.
Yeah, NFL contracts, right? I mean,
this
is, when you look at our D-line staff, as we've, it's a highly decorated.
Yeah, for sure.
How could you not? I mean, if you got a defensive ends coach that's coaching you, that's coached over 200 NFL D linemen, edge rushers, and then your inside guys have got 20 some years of NFL experience.
Right.
I mean, that really speaks volumes in getting you ready for the next level.
Yeah, and then you have of the similar position group there, but potentially playing inside, Terrence Green. He's a guy that really enjoyed his time at Michigan State, also took an unofficial visit to Texas, recently was at Oregon. What do you think about the Texas product, Terrence Green, Corey?
He's a tough kid, 6'5". I think he's 275, but when he was on his visit, he almost looked bigger than that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he came in around 285 by now. Just a big, powerful kid. Shows really good burst off the line of scrimmage. You see him at that size and you think he's got to be a defensive tackle, which is where his primary position is. But he's a guy that's athletic enough that you can go put him out on the edge, pre-snap, do some pre-snap reads and move guys around. I know Justin and I have talked about a lot of the guys that they're recruiting on the defensive line this year are guys that you could put inside, outside, just move them around pre-snap and find the best matchups for that play. But yeah, I think he's a guy that he kind of came in late. It wasn't a name that was really huge again until he took his official visit here, and he fell in love with it, and then he became a huge name on the list. Yeah.
Speaking of falling in love with Michigan State, should we talk about some people that committed during the month of June?
Yeah, why don't we?
Yeah.
Show some picks too. We got some great picks there.
Yeah. So, we have 4 guys that have committed, and one of them, I think the first one was Demetrius Bell. And he's a guy that is listed as an athlete there, but he's a wide receiver for Michigan State. And he's a 4-star on the composite. He's from Tennessee, and Alabama recently offered Demetrius, and he's a guy that has great yards after catch potential. And if you kind of watch his tape, the second he gets the ball in his hands, whether it's a bubble screen, whether it's sort of a post route up the middle, he gets the ball in his hands and he immediately looks like a running back with great vision, takes the ball all the way. You can see why Alabama offered, because that's kind of the way that their receivers have kind of in the past done it with Jalen Waddle and all those guys, Devontae Smith. But now Mel Tucker is going to go ahead and try to have that kind of an offense here at Michigan State. And I think Demetrius Bell would find himself in a position to kind of have some success there. I'll let Corey talk about Jordan Hall here. And as you saw, there was a picture of Mel Tucker with the dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah. But so, Corey, Jordan Hall.
Leader. I mean, that's the first word that comes to mind. He's going to be the first ever 3-time captain at IMG Academy. For people that don't know where that is, that's the premier high school football program where guys go from all across the country and honestly even Europe to go play there, because the training and coaching is a whole nother level for high school. So he's the first ever 3-time captain. Physical player, tough player, high football IQ, just the perfect guy to put at that Mike linebacker spot and run your defense. And he's a guy that's going to go even beyond the football field, where it's going to be in the weight room. He's going to lead the guys. He's going to make sure guys are doing what they need to do off the field. So, I mean, perfect program guy, just to add to it. Even if you not even talking about the extreme talent he has as a 4-star with basically every offer in the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a huge pickup. I think he's going to pay huge dividends down the road for Michigan State.
Yeah.
Sources tell me who spoke on the condition of anonymity that Mama Hall might be hired by the recruiting staff.
Yeah, she's doing a hell of a job.
She's doing an amazing job. Mama Hall, we love you. Thank you for all that you're doing, because it's all about the big picture. So she's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah,
she's doing a lot of recruiting.
She's doing a lot, and I mean, that's what I mean. I've always tried to do is
the
I like
family,
interview the parents, because you know they give 17-year-olds, you got to get their attention span at the right time to get the right stuff.
The parents,
but the parents they'll give it to you, and I mean. She's been so helpful on Twitter and reaching out to other parents and just saying, hey, this is why me and my son came here. This is the real, and she's a person that's honest, where she would shoot him straight. So yeah, she's the MVP of
because she knows Mel's real. I mean, she knows, and she's felt it. And a mother's intuition, you can't replace a mother's intuition.
Exactly.
And you just can't. So, Mama Hall, thank you for all that you do. Let's move on to Chance Rucker.
Chance Rucker, 4-star defensive back from Texas. He is from Denton Ryan. That is where you want to be recruiting shutdown corners from if you're Michigan State. Composite 4-star there. He's a top 40 corner in the nation. He committed very early. He was on the very first official visit weekend. And just had a low-key recruitment, wasn't about to flash on Twitter or anything like that. Took 2 visits to Michigan State in the spring and I believe the winter. Didn't say much about them, just quietly kept doing his due diligence. Eventually felt that his interest in Michigan State was strong enough, and on his 3rd trip up to East Lansing, went ahead and committed. He has great speed, great fluidity. Watch him on kick returns in his huddle tape. Watch him after interceptions in his huddle tape. That kind of speed, combined with his anticipation and always staying in the receiver's hip pocket, always having the proper fundamentals on a jam, doing proper mirroring on releases when the wide receivers go ahead and have that to start the route. So I think Chance Rucker is a guy that can play right away. Corey, do you have anything to add on Chance?
No, I think you got it covered. Good pickup.
For sure.
Clay Weldon.
Yeah, Clay Whedon. He's a interior offensive lineman listed on his profile, but he's a guy that's 6'6", 295, can also play outside as well. He's a guy that is a 4-star from Florida, so you know that he can play. Same high school as Eddie Pleasant, Anthony Carey, who was a 2024, just a guy that I think I'm impressed with. Anything to add there, Corey? Just nice size.
Really tough. Even though he's from Florida, he's almost like a Midwest lineman with his toughness. Just a tough kid, no nonsense. And, I mean, even him, he's been out there recruiting hard too. So, yeah, huge pickup.
Yeah, so
kind of changed the board on being able to be patient with some other guys.
Yeah, and speaking of Florida four-stars, we almost forgot to mention the Harris twins, Andrew Harris, Michael Harris. Those guys are committing next Wednesday, according to a report today from USA Today. Seems like they're down to Michigan State and UCF. So we'll see what happens there. But those two guys have serious potential, serious speed. And Mel Tucker, Scotty Hazelton, these are the guys that would know how to use their versatility. So we'll see what happens there.
Let's not make any predictions.
No.
Let's see what happens there.
Yep. Let's see what happens.
And we're hoping that we can land those two young men. So we'll leave you on one last thing. Ryan Armani. Ryan Armani once again does it again.
Michigan State is not on this list.
Yeah.
There is no more sensitive, soft fan base than the Michigan State Spartan fan base. Soft as hell, Michigan State, their fan base.
But they're only
How
sensitive.
are they not on this list?
Tuck coming.
How is Aiden Hutchinson at the Heisman?
Hey,
Tuck
and
coming.
our guy
Hold on.
is
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Braylon.
Now, because Michigan State definitely is sensitive. But
But Kenneth Walker, 5 touchdowns.
but it's only about Michigan. Michigan's sensitive about everybody. Like, is that fair to say? Michigan State is sensitive about Michigan. Nobody else.
I'm not sensitive about anybody.
BS.
I don't have a sensitive bone.
My God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Was that a Michigan fan crying?
No, it
Whining?
couldn't be. They're not sensitive, Brian. Only Michigan State fans are.
I didn't. What was that? Was that over what game?
I don't know.
I forgot. The last time I checked is that we were ranked as one of the most interactive fan bases in the country. Matter of fact, number 2 in the country. And so that's kind of the ranking that we'll take.
Mm-hmm.
And, Ryan, you continue to go on and on about the whiniest fan base. But clearly we're living run-free in your head. Very clear. It's very, very clear. And at some point, when you've lost 10 of the last 14, you probably should stop. Should wait. Maybe win 2 or 3 in a row and, 2029, 2030 or whatever the year that comes. But that take today only incites the fan base. So we'll take the wins, 10 out of the last 14. We'll enjoy them. We won't cry about it like your fan base has. And instead of talking about the winningest program in all of college football, you probably should say the whiniest program, because clearly we're living rent-free in your head. Very clearly.
You know what's whiny, Brian? Whiny is printing out a piece of paper that has some list on it from a random account, being mad that your rival / not rival is not on the list, and doing a segment on it. That's whiny.
It is what it is, right? It's because we live rent-free in their head. That's why. I'm going to end the show with this, though. We're going to go back and forth about this, and Braylon and I might get in fisticuffs on set. That might happen one day. Even Ryan and I. But just, Spartan Nation, the personal stuff, let's keep the personal stuff out of the tweets. It's banter going back and forth. There were some tweets today that were very personal. Let's just keep that stuff out of there because we're classier than that. And let's let our winning do the talking. So, Ryan, you keep whining, we'll keep winning and chopping, and we'll go from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. I am your co-host, Brian Musalam, along with my co-host, Justin Thinnan and Corey Robinson. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I also want to thank Steve St. Andre for joining us and Jay Green for a statement. You are watching Spartan Dogs for Life show. And thank you, everybody. Good night. Go green. God bless.
We're just getting started here.